Microsoft Fabric has been making a lot of noise in the data world. But what does it mean for us in DevOps? In this video, I'll answer the top 5 questions DevOps engineers should be asking about Fabric and why it might matter for your pipelines, monitoring, and automation. And to help me with this and ask those questions, I invited my good debugging friend, Ducky Mug Rubberface. So let's get started. What is Fabric? Well, to answer this question, and thank you, it's a very good question to start with. Fabric is a Microsoft United Data Platform, part of the Power BI ecosystem, but much bigger than that. Think of it as a one-stop for all analytics, data engineering, and real-time processing, machine learning, and governance. Pretty much, if you remember or if you worked with data factories and data bricks before, you just smash it all together into the single UI, single platform, and you have your pipelines that are basically Azure Data Factory pipelines. Then you have Databricks and notebooks to run them in a Spark cluster. And additionally, the monitoring and the lakehouse as a single storage for everything in terms of the actual data. And on top of that, you can have your Git integration and CI/CD support and security baked into the ecosystem. So it's all nice and clear. I hope that answers this question, right?
Yes, thank you very much. Now, next question. Why should DevOps care about Fabric?
Oh, even better question. Now, because data projects are no longer just data team territory, and with Fabric, you can go version control, as I said before. You can have your pipelines deployed in an automated way to follow up environments, and additionally, that you would support your engineers, data engineers with the actual infrastructure. And you can create those resources using Terraform. So you can automate deployments across all environments. You get the observability and the governance hooks for security and compliance. And so Fabric pretty much extends those DevOps practices into the world of analytics.
Okay, thank you. Now, how do I automate deployment and manage versioning?
Oh, even better question, okay. One of the first questions we ask in DevOps is how do I deploy this in a repeatable way? So how can I deploy it first to dev environment and then how can I deploy it to QA and production? Well, Fabric integrates with Git, so you can track those changes in pipelines, notebooks, and datasets, and you can commit them into your source control, and you can also use tools as Terraform or Iron templates, as I said, to manage their workspaces themselves and Fabric capacities. That means that you can build the proper CI/CD workflows to commit, test something, and then promote it to production, just like with any other service and any other deployment that you usually do as a DevOps engineer.
Okay, and then how do I monitor pipelines and resource usage?
Oh, observability. It's everything for us, right? Fabric pipelines come with a built-in run history and alerts, and you can track failures and the execution time and the throughput, so how much resources do you use. And for large environments, you can even connect it to the Azure Monitor because it's the same ecosystem as Azure and everything is connected. And you can push those metrics up to Grafana and build nice dashboards that you can put on your screen somewhere and show what is the current error rate, what is throughput, what is usage history, and so on. And you can monitor your Fabric pretty much like you would monitor a Kubernetes cluster or a data warehouse.
All right. How does Fabric handle scalability then and performance? What happens if I use too much resources? Will everything break?
That's a very tricky question actually, because Fabric uses a very interesting model in terms of how you pay for it. You basically just deploy the capacity units and that will give you a certain compute power. Then if you overuse it a little bit more than usual, you actually get some sort of a credit in advance. And later, if you don't use your Fabric constantly at the highest throughput, then you would basically average it out across the time that you run your cluster. But once is the actual question, uh, Fabric will scale those resources up and down depending on your workload, basically. And you can assign uh, any jobs that you want to run, and you can run them manually, and everything will be handled automatically behind the scenes for you.
Oh, thank you. Then how secure and compliant is Fabric? It's pretty much the last question that I wanted to ask.
Uh-huh. Last and the most important one, because after we finished with the deployment, we want to make it secure and compliant with all of the requirements, right? Security should always be at the top of our minds, and without surprises, Fabric uses Azure Active Directory for identity and role-based access control, and pretty much you can have those users and user groups and assign different roles, and that way you will control the access to Fabric itself and to the reports. And additionally, in terms of data, of course, data is encrypted at rest and in transit. And you can get the audit logs, so you can track who ran what and when. And for enterprise with strict compliance requirements, it's a big deal, and we can add something like Microsoft Purview into the mix to have different data governance available. Okay, with that, thank you very much for this quick interview. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is my quick DevOps take on Fabric. It's not just a shiny new data tool, it's an ecosystem pretty much that pulls DevOps practices into analytics and AI world. In the next videos, I am going to go a little bit deeper and will explain how CI/CD pipelines will look like in Fabric and what are the nitty-gritty details and how to implement them. And later, I will dive into the security configuration and governance itself. So please make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss those videos. See you!